What's up, class? Back with another No Mod Shop class video and a Far Harbor build video, no less. I know it's been a minute and some of you were wondering if I needed a wellness check. I appreciate that and I apologize for the delay in video output. Honestly, 2025 hasn't been the greatest start of a new year. If you guys don't want to hear my excuses, then feel free to skip ahead, but man, let me tell you what's been going on. People have already forgotten about it, but there were some massive fires in Los Angeles in January. I wasn't personally affected, but I had many friends who were. Being a good friend and all, I took to helping many of them as much as possible. Whether that meant offering a couch to surf for a few days here and there, to helping other friends move into new places. It was definitely time-consuming, but I was glad to help and very blessed compared to others. My mom's been having a lot of challenges as well. I may have mentioned in past videos that she has early onset Alzheimer's. Sometimes I have to spend hours a day coaching new nurses at her assisted living facility on the best care routine. My search for a cat continues as well. I thought the fires would bring tons of new pets into shelters, but I guess a lot of people had the same idea of saving animals and giving them forever homes. So driving around to different shelters and foster homes was also time-consuming. Still no cat, but I'm not giving up. I had some pretty major equipment problems, but that's nothing new. I always manage to solve the technical issues, but it eats up days and days, and that adds up over time. I'm crossing my fingers that it's not my computer or the USB port that's shorting the mic out or something. That would suck. However, you may notice some fluctuations in the microphone levels here and there. Like it might get louder and then softer and then louder again. Sometimes I even had to record separate sentences into separate files because the microphone would die after like a minute or so and I'd have to restart. Still working on fixing that, but I didn't want to delay the video any longer. Suffice it to say that I'm finally back in the groove and I hope to get everything on track again. I want to thank everyone for the wonderful comments that have been left on my videos and also your patience. I also want to thank my channel members and Patreons for not canceling their support. We had very few cancellations or downgrades during this period, which was an unexpected blessing. I'll tell you all about what we're going to be doing in Far Harbor once we get there, but first I want to give my channel members and Patreons the credit they deserve. As I often do, I honor them with the Wall of Fame. And here is the Student Council this month. Thank you guys so much for your generosity and support for the channel. I'll leave a link in the description below and the iCard above if anyone else wants to become a member of the Student Council. There are some fantastic perks in addition to seeing your name on the Wall of Fame. And if you don't want to leave YouTube and take the time to set up a Patreon account, there's also a join button down below where you can become a member, or a Bitcoin address down in the description if you're one of the cool kids and you want to make a one-time donation. But it would be so awesome to get some folks on board with Student Council so I can keep bringing you guys awesome build videos and not have to rely on YouTube's, meager ad revenue. And you've probably noticed that I don't advertise my videos, so you don't have to deal with skipping past that minute-long sponsor segments like other YouTubers. That's what my Patreon supporters are for. Okay, hop on the school bus and let's head over to Far Harbor for a really fun mini lesson that I think you guys are going to enjoy. Alright guys, here we are at my Dalton Farm Lakeside Resort in progress. And we've got a nice sunny day because I've got some clear weather shells firing off on that timer that you saw me build in a past video. But I've only got 10 of them, so they're probably going to run out and we're going to get some cloudy skies again. So I'm going to make this a little bit of a quick video, but what we're going to do today is something kind of cool. You probably already saw it in the thumbnail, but we're going to build an escalator because this resort is going to be multi-level and this will be a cool way to get to the lower level and all. See, what's kind of cool about these Far Harbor builds I'm doing is that each one kind of contains a little mini lesson there, and we can build on each mini lesson until we've completed the entire build. Of course, that'll take a while, but that's how it goes. So let me show you what we're going to be doing and where we're going to be doing it. Alright, so we're going to be using this little egress here to build an escalator that goes down to that level there. Okay, and that level down there is going to be like, I think I'm probably going to make it a market with gift shops and maybe a restaurant and things like that, As with most builds, you have to adjust your plans to factor in the terrain. So I'm probably going to try to build that rock face over there into the structure so it's kind of incorporated into the build and looks kind of rustic and all. Some of you may have seen like bars where there's a cave-like structure inside, or restaurants that kind of take advantage of a mining theme or whatnot. Maybe you've seen a bar that has a window into the pool outside, I've seen some interesting creative things in real life over the years where they kind of incorporate the terrain or other features that are already there into other features. And that's kind of like what I like to do in my builds. Partially because it's necessary, but also you can get creative with it, Now you may notice this little niche here. I did move it over from the last build. It was over here, but what I want to try to do is preserve this tree right here as much as possible. I don't want to have to chop it down. And when I did the test, it was this niche right here and the tree was interfering. So I'd like to try to build around this nice tree before we go straight to chopping it down. I can come up with some ideas of what to do with it later. You know, in my gray garden build, for example, I actually turned the native trees on the patio into snack tables with stools. It was pretty fun. So anyway, I just shifted it over a couple of blocks to right here, and then down there is where our endpoint is going to be. So let me show you a pretty cool way to build an escalator in the game. I don't know if this has ever been done on other channels or not. Hopefully I'm the first. I can't say for sure. I haven't done the research, but that would be pretty cool. It's obviously not what the developers intended with these pieces, but who says all the assets have to be used for exactly what they were intended for, right? All right, so let's go ahead and jump into workshop mode. Now, I couldn't find any railings that were slanted or angled, isolated railings that is, because it would have been nicer to fill this entire gap with a downward structure like they have in the vault section over here. This is what I had in there before, this angled ramp, but there aren't any railings that would work. And an escalator without railings is like picking an apple without skin, you know? It may taste fine, but you're just not gonna trust if it's safe, you know? So unfortunately, I had to take that out, and we're just gonna use these stairs right here, the vault stairs. It's not gonna fill the entire gap, but as you've probably seen on regular escalators, there's usually a drop over the side of the railing anyway, except for maybe like airports. But mall escalators and hotel escalators usually have a gap and a drop. So this wouldn't be too unusual, and it's pretty darn close to the edge right there anyway. We're gonna fill in everything underneath it as well, so I don't think it'll look too bad. Now, I don't want to take the time to do the proper stairs snapping alignment technique that I showed you guys a few episodes back in my Far Harbor series. But if you're doing this for yourself, you can certainly take the time to do that and make it look perfect. Because of time constraints, I'm just gonna kind of guesstimate it right here, and I think it'll work out fine. It's too bad the developers forgot to make these stairs snap to each other like most of the other stairs in the game do, but just check out a few episodes back. You'll see a clever way it can be done. I'll put a link in the description below and the iCard above. All right, so I think it might be easier for me to do it from down here. So let me hop down here and see if I can get it to become blue as soon as possible, and then we can make adjustments to it. I may need to move this out of the way for the moment. So I'm just gonna put it right there. Looks like we already ran out of clear weather shells, figures. I'm probably gonna have to make some more depending on how dark it gets. Oh man, we've got a rad storm coming. All right, let me see if I can sneak through here. Probably not. Oh, I could, okay. All right, so let me craft some more clear weather shells here. Get rid of this rad storm. Goodness gracious. That is like the only disadvantage to Far Harbor. It's just constant storms. And I'm running out of gold too, man. I gotta use all this precious gold. I'll make like 10 more and that should be enough to last us for another 5 minutes. Okay, exit, yes. All right, let me go pop these into this little temporary setup we have here. All right, now that's on a timer, so that'll do its thing when it's ready. Nice, okay, back to business. Let's go ahead and go back into workshop mode. All right, so where were we? Okay, so we were trying to get this aligned as much as possible and I fell off. So let me move this right here so I can back up. Look at that, I got it timed perfectly. It was just about to start getting cloudy again and then it cleared right up. That's just crazy. Okay, let's see if we can get this as close as possible. I may need to pillar glitch it into place, we'll see. It's not too bad actually. All right, just for the sake of argument, let me go ahead and pillar glitch this into place. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna go make a supply run and grab some more supplies and also some more gold if I can find a gold shipment. And I'll be right back after I pop those stairs perfectly into place. All right, guys, I am back. I had to go buy a shipment of gold from Deb at Bunker Hill to be able to craft some more clear weather shells so we can continue to have a nice sunny day. Unfortunately, my entire shipment is probably going to get used up in about 10 minutes just to keep this place sunny. As you can see, it's already starting to get foggy, but the clear weather shell is going to take care of that in just a second. There you go. Once we get the whole resort up and running, it's not going to matter if it's raining because this is mostly going to be an indoor sort of like bed and breakfast style luxury lodge situation. So the fact that it's raining outside is not going to make too much of a difference. We're going to have lots of fireplaces that I'm going to custom build and show you guys some different options and all that. It's gonna be banging. Okay, let's finish up this escalator. As I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna make this kind of a shorter video. It's been a while since I've posted a build video, so I don't want to be making an hour-long video and have it take even longer to get out. Anyway, I went ahead and counted out the amount of slanted conveyor tiles that we'll need, and 2 adjoining vault staircases require approximately 8 from top to bottom. So let me see if I have the right amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, perfect. Okay, and then I'll just add a little stairs so we can get up here. This whole area down here is going to be like shopping and restaurants and all that jazz. And then up there are going to be the levels for the rooms, the lodging for the lodge. And then out over there are going to be some areas like a gym, spa, maybe a barber shop or whatever accessories we can muster. We'll figure all that out later. All right, so let's get this up and running here. I'm going to go into workshop mode and let's see if I can do this on the first try. Okay, so you're going to select this and we're going to pillar glitch it into place, but we need the right angle for it. Now the challenge to this, as always, because we don't have the greatest perspective in build mode, is just getting it lined up straight. Let's see here. I need it a little more over so I can see it better. Now the bottom of the conveyor belt you want to have lined up close to the end of the railing of the stairs, and then if you think you've got it lined up all the way to the top, then you're going to sink it down until just before it turns red. So let's see how far down we can go. Oh, that's great. Let's keep going. Come on. Almost. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. All right, I didn't think we were going to be able to go down that far. There we go. That's perfect. Okay, let's see if I did this right. I'm going to go ahead and lock it into place. Now let's head up here. Oh, wow, that's perfect. I'm very happy with that. But let's see if we can get this next piece to snap into place. Otherwise, I might have to start over. So we're going to go back into, not generators yet, but this piece right here. And we need to grab one that has a power conduit on it that's also flat and doesn't have the stands on the bottom. So this is the one, conveyor belt, power junction. Oh, did you see that? Bam, it just snapped right into place. That really is perfect. Okay, fantastic. Now we already have all the power we'll need with that massive Vault-Tec reactor over there. What I'll probably do is build a small power substation structure to cover it up and then run Wi-Fi conduits to various places around the lodge. Wiring the place up will be a separate video, of course. However, so I don't have to mess around with that just yet, I'm just going to pick this temporary generator and place it right there. Hook it up, and would you look at that? It's working. So freaking cool. Okay, you guys ready for a ride down? Here we go. That is awesome. I probably could have moved it over just like an inch or two to the left, but dang, is that not close as hell? And then, yep, I'm gonna take the escalator down to the shopping area right here. And would you look at that? Right as another rad storm is about to start, the clear weather shell cleared it away. Too cool, folks. Well, I can go ahead and store this then, and yeah. So obviously we're gonna have to have an elevator somewhere over here that's gonna lead back up to a catwalk, back up to the top level. Technically, I guess you could walk back up the downward escalator, but the guests will have the classier option of riding the elevator back up. But yeah, that is how you build an escalator in Fallout 4. And it's the perfect place for it too, because I wanted to have that lower level quickly accessible without having to use elevators or stairs the entire time. So that worked out great. And then down over there, I'm obviously going to fill all that in with concrete once we get the rest of the base structure down pat. So anyway, yeah, it's coming along nicely. I might even build another escalator down this side. But yeah, that is awesome. All right, folks, another lesson in the bag. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and now that all my issues with the beginning of 2025 are settled, hopefully I'll be able to crank out videos more often than not. And once again, wanted to say thanks for all the channel members and the Patreon members, the student council that stuck with me and didn't quit and didn't cancel their subscriptions or memberships. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks again. And if you too want to become a member of Patreon or a channel member, there's a join button down below, or you can head to the Patreon page where you get even more perks. I like going through Patreon a little bit better than the channel memberships just because they allow you to keep more money. Frickin' YouTube takes like 50%. It's pretty sad. But anyway, I appreciate it. And to everybody else who's not a member or a Patreon member, a like and a subscribe always helps. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Happy building and class dismissed.